Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nall, and this is NBA Weekly, the show where once a week, usually on Saturdays, I'll talk about things that happened last week in the association and talk about some of the things I'm looking forward to next week. So one of the first storylines that happened early in the week were the Cavs setting a new league record by making 9 3-pointers, all 9 of the 3-pointers that they attempted in the first quarter. So they started the game hitting their first 11 3-pointers, finishing the half 13 of 17 as they went on to win that game. Unfortunately, after winning 4 straight, they have now gone on to drop 3 straight. So, and in the battle for first place between the Grizzlies and the Rockets, the Grizzlies were in complete control of the entire game. And if they didn't already have your respect, I feel like they must have earned it there. And not only did the Lakers actually win a game, they won twice in a row. Still not making the playoffs though. The 76ers are currently still winless at 0-12. The Rockets and Bulls both started the season 6-0 before losing their first road game, when the Bulls have now lost 2 straight road games. But I can't blame them. And they're incredibly banged up. Like the Bulls and the Thunder, these are 2 teams that just injury after injury. And the Bulls already, no Rose, no Gasol. Now Taj Gibson is hurting. And he might be out for a while. I mean, wow. And then you've also got the Memphis Grizzlies, the only team still undefeated at home with a 7-0 record playing in Memphis. And speaking of the Grizzlies and the Rockets and the Spurs and the Mavericks and the Pelicans, the Southwest division is currently the best division in basketball. It's the only division in the league where every single team is above 500. And as of yesterday morning, if the playoffs had started then, all 5 of them would have been in the playoffs. And I think come April, it's still a very good possibility that all 5 of them could be in the playoffs. And then the weakest division, the Northwest and the Atlantic. They each have only 1 team above 500. Though to be fair, in the Northwest, the Thunder, they're incredibly banged up right now. But good news is that I read an article saying that Westbrook and Durant would start practicing again today. So, there could be some good news. Also, let's hand out some early season awards. I mean, it's a very young season, but the people who are standing out to me, I'll say Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year and League MVP, and I'll have Rondo as my runner-up. I'll take either DeMarcus Cousins or Jimmy Butler for Most Improved. It's easy to point to Butler, but Cousins, he's grown as a leader, and I think the thing that's improved the most is his decision-making. I mean, has he actually fouled out of a game this year? I mean, that's the most shocking thing for me. And then Isaiah Thomas is my 6th man of the year. He's been balling. I mean, he was a starter last year for Sacramento. He went on to a team already stacked at the guard position, and he's still contributing. And a few milestones, a lot of people are hitting some good career marks. Kevin Garnett has now played in as many games as Reggie Miller. He leads all active players with 1,389 games, and he only needs to play in 2 more to tie Jason Kidd and move into 6th place on the all-time list. And Doug Nowitzki has played in his 1,200th career game. Dwight Howard now has more defensive rebounds in his career than Larry Bird. Kobe became the 4th player in NBA history with 32,000 career points. And he's like 200 away from Michael Jordan now. And Dirk Nowitzki now has over 27,000 career points, the first international player to ever reach that mark. And now a few games that I'm looking forward to in the coming week. On Saturday, there's the Raptors at the Cavs. The Cavs got LeBron back, instantly became everyone's favorite to win the Eastern Conference. But meanwhile, in real life, the Raptors are the ones who have been dominating the conference all season long. And then you've also got the Mavs at the Rockets. They're not only division rivals, they're in the same state. And it's always a fun rivalry. And there's going to be a great battle in the middle. They got some explosive guards who can make a lot of big plays. This one should be interesting. And then you've also got the Nets at the Spurs, and that one's mostly just because even though it's not what it used to be, I still love just watching that KG versus Duncan matchup. That's always just going to be fun for me. And considering their age, they're actually playing at a relatively high level. And then you've got the Grizzlies at the Clippers, Blake versus Zebo. It's becoming a fun matchup to watch, despite the fact that they don't match up very well. One of these guys lives above the rim and the other one has a 2-inch vertical. But, and then, you got Gasol and Jordan going at each other. And, both of them, I feel, are candidates for Defensive Player of the Year, right now at least. And so that'll be a little fun to watch. And Mike Conley is an underrated point guard as well, and I look forward to that head-to-head battle between him and Chris Paul. Then on Monday, you've got the Suns at the Raptors, two contenders who are stacked at the guard position and also have some underrated big men in my opinion. That one should be fun to look at. On Tuesday, Kings at Pelicans, the battle of the big men as two MVP candidates square off. Then on Wednesday, you've got Kings at the Rockets. Two of the best centers in the league, hopefully going head-to-head, except right now, don't know how long before Dwight actually gets back. So if Dwight's not back, this one might not be as exciting. I mean, technically, there's still like the matchup between Rudy Gay and, James Harden. I mean, that might be a fun little shootout, except that, if you don't have someone who can stop Cousins, I kind of feel like maybe the Kings might pull off the upset. And then on Thursday, it's Thanksgiving, so they decided to give everyone in the league the day off. Though hopefully they don't eat too much turkey. We don't want them gaining 30 pounds in one day and then not being able to play on Friday. But at least, hey, on Thursday there's nothing to distract you from football. And on Friday, you've got the Mavs at the Raptors, two elite clubs. Raptors looking to hold on to this top spot in the East, while the Mavs currently, as recording this, in third place, last I checked. And they're kind of looking to inch up in the West, to possibly take the top spot. Then you've also got the Clippers at the Rockets, dominating big man, explosive guards, versatile forwards. There should be a lot of highlights in this matchup. And then you've got the Kings at the Spurs. The Kings managed to beat them last time, but this time playing in the same town, I feel like if Sacramento manages to win again, which they won't, then you have to start considering them like legit contenders. And then you got the Grizzlies at the Blazers, two teams each at the top of their respective division, but the Grizzlies are at the top of the toughest division in basketball compared to the Blazers, who are arguably in one of the weakest. So this will be a good measuring stick for the Blazers, in my opinion. And that's it for this edition of NBA Weekly. Tune in next week for another all-new episode. But until then, this is from the fan perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. Have a good week. If you hear some noises, that's because it's raining hard outside.